Well, hey there, church family. Happy Friday to you. I hope you're looking forward to a good weekend. It might be a little cloudy and a little dreary and rainy here on Friday, but regardless, a restful and recharging weekend can be ahead of us if we choose to have one. Being able to choose some things in life is always pleasant. The one thing you can't really choose is the physical traits that you get from your parents. Maybe you have had a dad with a big nose or a mom with a big nose, and they pass that schnoz right on down to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I got my height from my mother. She was a tall lady, and while my dad wasn't short, my mother was tall, and so we had some big kids. My siblings and I are very, very tall, and you can't really pick or change what you got from your physical side from your parents. Those physical traits are just allotted to you, and you have to deal with them and take what you're given and work with it. Um, Other traits, maybe they're not so fixed. When you look at emotional traits, when you look at spiritual traits, those are learned traits, and those traits can be passed down to you through time, repetition, exposure, and you can learn new traits through time, repetition, and exposure. And those learned traits, they come to you whether you're looking for them or not. So it's a good idea to always be looking for them because if you're not looking for them, certain traits will certainly find you regardless. And just as those things are true in the physical and emotional sense, it's especially true in spiritual things. Um, so a good question for you might be this: what traits are you getting from your spiritual parents? Who is your spiritual mentor? And also, more importantly, who's watching you and learning things by your actions? What does it mean to be a follower of Jesus as people look at you? In Second Timothy in verses 1 through 7, there's some very clear things that Paul points out to Timothy. Uh, Paul was Timothy's mentor, and he said these things in Second Timothy verses 1 through 7. Timothy, my dear son, be strong through the grace that God gives you in Christ Jesus. You have heard me teach these things that have been confirmed by many reliable witnesses. Now teach these truths to other trustworthy people who will be able to pass them on to others. The whole thing is we're passing things on to others. We are mentoring the group behind us. You hear it applying a lot to children. Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they will not depart from it. The book of Psalm has something to say as well. It says, one generation shall commend your works to another and shall declare your mighty acts. One generation shall commend your works to another. I'm so very thankful that there are older people around me who are not bitter, angry, or negative. I think of Miss Bobby. Miss Bobby Reynolds. She always sends an encouraging note to me, and as a shepherd, it's wonderful to get those encouraging notes, and that someone who has experienced life and all of the beauty and the ugliness that life can give you, and yet she chooses to be joyful, chooses to be positive. That positive, that's a choice. We all have choices in life, and those are the traits that we want to pass on to others. I had a dear friend of mine to ask me about one of my videos too. He said, "Are you happy?" He said, "When you do your videos, you don't smile. You don't. It doesn't convey that you're happy about your faith in Jesus." And I said, "You know what? You're right, and I'm going to make sure that comes across loud and clear. And I'm hoping that is today and going forward. So hold me accountable to that, dear family." But for you, who's watching you? But also, more importantly, what are you showing them? So, this weekend, think about the things that have been taught to you and choose to teach those truths to trustworthy people who are then going to be able to pass them on to the others. The greatest days and the most challenging days of the church are still in front of us. Let's make sure that we're ready and making other people ready as well. Have a great weekend. See you on Sunday.